Okay, so we'll be solving a pair of simultaneous linear equations. So let's write down the first. What strategy are we going to use? Well, here's a strategy to eliminate. We're going to eliminate the x terms. Step 1, we want to have the same size. Step 2, we want to have different signs. Step 3, add both equations. So let's start. Now, if you look at both of these equations, identify with the x terms, they have different coefficient. The coefficient of the first x term is 5, and of the second is 1. We want them to be the same. So we'll multiply the first equation by the same one that is here. This one that's here, we're going to multiply first equation by that one. And you see this 5 here, that's there, multiply the second equation by that 5. So basically interchanging. So we're taking this one here, and multiply by this equation. We're taking this 5 and multiply by this equation down here. So the 1 that's here goes up here, multiplying by 1. 5 that's here, go down here, multiply by 5. So, but it's the entire equation that we're multiplying by these numbers, right? Okay, now remember we say we want to have the same size. So think about it. By multiplying equation 1 by 1, we'll get back the same equation, obviously, 5x. So look at equation 2 now. Equation 2 is being multiplied by 5. So this 1x multiplied by 5 will be 5x. So that will ensure that we have 5x in the first term, in the first equation, correction, and 5x in the second equation. So that means we will have the what? The same size. But now we want different signs. We want what? Different signs. So 5x will be in the first and 5x will be in the second. But to have different sign means that one would be 5x and one would be negative 5x. And in order for us to do that, we may have to multiply by a negative number. Okay? We may have to multiply by a negative number. So instead of multiplying by a positive 5, we'll multiply by a negative 5. So watch what's going to happen. Let's write back the first equation since we are multiplying it by 1. Multiply by 1 give us back the same number. Same numbers and same terms. In other words, the same equation. So 5x plus 2y equals 29. That's our equation 1 we're writing back since we multiplied by 1. Now equation 2 we're going to multiply by what? 5, negative 5. Let's do that. Now, what the negative will do is that it will change the sign of each term while we multiply by the number 5. So what are we going to have? Instead of having, so let's go, 5 times 1x will be 5x. But since we're multiplying by a negative, it's going to be negative 5x. Negative 5 times negative y. Now remember, 5 times y is 5y. But because we're multiplying by a negative, negative will turn to positive because negative times negative give us positive. That will be positive 5y. Think about it. 5 times y is 5y. Negative times negative is positive. Next, we have to also multiply the negative 5 by negative 4. And so 5 times 4 is 20, but as negative will turn to positive. So that's positive 20. So negative 5 times negative 4 is positive 20. And this is our new equation, equation 3. So now let's examine both equations that we have now. So we're working with these two equations. So remember we said we want to have the same size, different signs. And we do have different signs. This 5x is positive, this 5x is negative. So now we'll proceed to add both equations. Now adding both equations means that we'll put a plus between the like terms. Okay, so let's write them down. So we'll have, we'll have 5x plus negative 5x and positive 2y plus positive 5y. So basically putting a plus between each of these. And then put about the equal sign now. Since we placed 5x, we added 5x to negative 5x and 2y to positive 5y. So we put the equal sign and we put 29 plus 20. So we add in the like terms, hence these plus signs. Okay, so let's go now. Let's simplify and then solve. 5x plus negative 5x. When we add two numbers with the opposite signs or different signs, we subtract. 5 from 5 is 0. So these guys will cancel out. We add in two numbers. Now in this case we have positive 2 and positive 5, which gives us positive 7y. 29 plus 20 is 49. And to get the value of y, we need to eliminate or remove the 7. So we're going to divide by 7 on both sides. 7 to 7 goes once, 7 goes once, into 49 goes 7 times. And so that leaves us with what? Y equals 7 over 1, which is 7. So now that we have found y, let's proceed to find the value for x. So we use equation 5x plus 2y equals 29. 5x plus 2y equals 29. We insert the value for 7. So we have 5x plus, remember this is 7, 14 equals 29. We have 5x equals 29. This plus 14 transpose over the equal sign as negative 14. So we have 5x equals 15, and dividing both sides by 5, we'll get what? X equal 3. So the two values we have are x equal 3, y equals 7.